I think I will have to leave the meeting at the profile pic and then join back, I guess. Is that so, Mr. Ram?
Hello. Yes, what happened?
I am from Armiet College. I am studying my final year, 78. I have come here to attend the campus drive of this lab. I have completed my aptitude test now. It was a bit difficult compared to the other companies. I have in my college. It is the third placement drive that has been conducted. Our college aims to place every student before they are graduated, and everyone should be placed in a better company for their future respects. Hello, myself. My name is Madushen. I recently completed my graduation in IT 2019. In Armiet College, the campus placements are really very good. I have got a placement here in marketing field. The company which uh, this thing works private limited. I think that this college usually provides placements, and also it provides internships to students during their third year, and it's a very good college. Thank you.
I am known as Ritzy Mohammed Abbas Kaisar, pursuing Bachelor in Metal Engineering from Armiet College, Asangaon. I would like to thank you, Becom, for calling us to such an incredible matters like Anisar and Garima man. when the man faces a challenging environment that let us to know the hidden talent within us, and also how to take us in problems in day-to-day life, and also this technology interpersonal skills that will be beneficial towards the entire career. The knowledge that has been imparted by both of you will be beneficial towards the entire life. The word can never qualify and not quantify your useful advices and your useful guidance. I will also like to thank all the people who have been involved to organize this event directly or indirectly. I will be forever grateful to both of you and hope to see you again.
Start. Hi, my name is Shashank. I passed out Bachelor of Engineering in IT in year 2013 from Alamuri Patnamala College. I was placed in CSC from this college for a package of like 3.3 lakhs in year 2013. I currently have a package of like 20 lakhs per annum currently. So, of course, I'm not working in India right now. I'm working abroad, but CSC actually gave me an opportunity to pursue my course. I joined Armiet in 2009. From first year, I did not do my diploma, so I joined in first year. And 4 years in the college was pretty much different experience as compared to the other colleges in the university. The culture we adapted was self-learning, but we had a good support from the college management. We were provided expert lectures from professors and guest faculty. So that was the highlight. Management was very open to work complaints, suggestions, feedbacks. That was a plus point which made this college grow. Since the initial days, the college has been very open to feedbacks and suggestions. So that was the best part. And I wish all the students the very best to pursue their goals in their careers.
Good evening, everyone, all the students, parents, boys and girls, children who all are watching us live on YouTube. I hope everyone is enjoying. Welcome to this dynamic youth conclave, the leaders from the generation Z. We had this dynamic youth conclave for 5 days, starting from 11th. So yesterday was the first day. We are on second day today. We have these leaders from various countries. Yesterday we had from India, Mr. Rahul Sharma. Today we have from Sri Lanka. Then we have from Malaysia. Then we have from South Africa, and then from Georgia. Generation Z are the are the youngsters who are in their early age, and they are dynamic in their thinking, and they are using all the new trends of the 21st century, and they have in their young age they have become successful. So today we have our guest, the speaker for the day from Sri Lanka, Madushen Paramanathan, and he is going to talk about the topic for the day is how to become a problem solver. And I request our professor, Mr. Hanuman Patne sir, to introduce our today's guest, Mr. Madushen.
Good evening, everyone. I, Professor Patne Hanuman, welcome you all for this webinar series. Yesterday, we had a very informative Sharma. Today, we are having a speaker for this session, Madushen from Sri Lanka. He is studying the stream of physical science and he is going to pursue his higher studies in engineering. He got various achievements. He got various awards, not only in academics but also in sports. So let's have his talk. I request Madushen to start his session. Madushen, over to you.
Yeah, Madushen, you can share your screen.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Hanuman. Hello, everyone. A very good evening to you all. And first of all, I must thank the Armiet College for inviting me for this session. And I feel very privileged and honored to be here in front of you to talk about one of the life's essential lessons. So let me start this session with a quote. Be not afraid of life. Believe it is worth living, and your belief will help create that fact. From William James. So people are afraid of so many things in their lives. They are afraid to take new steps. They are afraid to take up new challenges. And they are afraid to pursue their biggest dreams because they are afraid of the problems that they think they might come across their journey. They are afraid that the problems might bring them down all the way. And they are afraid that the problems might not help them to reach to their height, and it's going to limit them. So they think without facing any problem that they can lead their life in a very safe way. But only thing that happens is that they are limiting their abilities. They are not putting out that peak performer within themselves because they are afraid of those problems. So today we are going to see how we are able to be the greatest problem solver, the greatest problem solver. But the truth is that we all have this ability of problem solving, but only thing is we don't put that into practice. Just like just like the skill of singing. Everyone can sing. You know, I can sing and you can sing. The only difference which makes the better singers better and us not so is that we don't put that into practice. And today we'll see how we can provoke that, tap that potential of problem solving within us as humans, and then put into practice for a great future. So as Sir mentioned, I have been in so many institutes, so many platforms. I have been a national level sportsman. I have been in debating. I have been in various leadership platforms. I have done leadership training, and I have been a scout, and I have been in all levels of a society. I have been a member, and also I have been a president. So with my experience, we cannot set a definite algorithm to solve each and every problem. And there is no procedure to say, okay, this is how you solve the problem. But the fact is, even though we cannot set a definite algorithm, we can set a basic rule to solve each and every problem. We have a basic rule, and that basic rule is the vision of a powerful mind. People often underestimate the greatest gift they have, which is the power of their mind. Power of their mind. And when you see the greatest athletes, the greatest leaders whom we follow, the greatest role models that we have in our life, they all have a special ability than rest of us. That's why they are in that position, and that ability is their powerful mind. We know as sportsmen, we do a lot of training. Everyone has 24 hours in their clock. Everybody live in the same time frame, but why some are always better than us? Why some are always performing better than us? Because they don't just develop their skill, their physical skill, but also they develop their powerful mind. So when you take an example of the yogis who do like days and days or maybe weeks meditation without food, water, or sleep, that's not only because of the physical power but also the mental ability that they have developed in themselves. So today we are going to see two main factors, two main important factors, the basic rule of problem solving. That is number one, the vision, and the number two, the how can we utilize our powerful mind which we already have, and how can the basic steps or basic practices that we can follow in order to develop our minds. Vision. Number one, vision is visualizing the negative aspects of life as a step for our self mastery. So many people that we come across and talk in daily life, when they see a negative aspect is coming to their life, and that's how life happens. We get through negative stuff and we get through positive stuff. But when we start to visualize the negative aspects of our life as a step for our self mastery, and that's where we are going to succeed. So I'm going to tell you a very inspiring story of this person. Most of you all might not know sometimes, so I'll tell about him. This is Sia Kolisi. He is the South African rugby captain last year who won the Rugby World Cup. Just as the Cricket World Cup, just like the Olympics, just like the Football World Cup, Rugby World Cup is one of the most celebrated sporting events in the world. So what's so special about him? That's his childhood. In one of his interviews, he told when he was very young, his friends and him and his family were going through the most difficult time that any child should not go through. That's hunger. So their friend, his own friends, started stealing from houses nearby, going through slums to just to find food. But he thought he is going to make this negative aspect for his betterment. He chose to play rugby. He went to the grounds, played rugby till noon, till the evening, until he was very, very tired, and he went back home so that he can forget his hunger and sleep because he is too tired. He continuously did that. And that vision, that way, how he visualized his negative aspect into a positive, today he stands as a captain, as a leader who brought South Africa together, who brought a country together, who brought the dream of millions of people come true to win a Rugby World Cup. And also, he is now conducting so many programs, and he had been an inspiration for a nation. So what can better a person achieve than being an inspiration to his country, than being an inspiration to his nation, the youngsters of their country? So he became such a personal, a notable character just because his vision of turning negative aspects for his own betterment turned him out to be one of the greatest leaders. Just like after Nelson Mandela, they admire him as the black who brought South Africa together. So he has a lot of respect, and he earned it through that vision he had. So vision, the way we visualize the negative aspects of our life, is one most important factor. And just when we visualize, it's not just a verbal replacement. It's going to change how we see into our things. And the best way to visualize our problems is as challenges. So let me tell you my own story. When I started school, I joined my mother language medium, which is Tamil language. I followed all my studies in Tamil language, even though we had English as a subject, but rest of the lessons were conducted in English. And I don't come from an English speaking family. I just come from an average family who just live a simple life, and none of the members of our family speak English. But I did join grade 6 for the bilingual medium where all subjects are done in English except the first language and religion. And I struggled a lot the very first term. So in the very few months, I couldn't speak a single word of English, not a single word. I just very well remember my class teacher then, Mrs. Daniels, told me the third day, I guess. So I was the monitor in the class too, but still I couldn't speak in English. She told, I spoke to her in Sinhala, the major language in Sri Lanka. I spoke to her in Sinhala, and then she replied to me, Madushen, you are in an English medium class and you should learn to speak in English. That's gonna help you a lot. So I then realized how much important it is to speak in English. So I saw many of my seniors doing very well in English. Their speeches were very inspiring, and I wanted to become one of them. So rather than seeing that English a problem, I took it as a challenge which is going to make me a great personality on whom I followed those days. So I took it as a challenge. I kept practicing. I tried so many things and I failed so many times. But I'm happy to say each time I failed, I have learned something better. And that's because I took it as a challenge. So otherwise, and you might see how much I have improved now today. So from when I was 12 years old, I couldn't speak a proper word of English at the beginning, but today I'm 19 years old and I conduct speeches, motivational programs, leadership training programs, and I participate in international MUNs and Bonn Awards, and I am the president of the English Debate Society of our college, which won the league championship and been in national finals. So it's just a 7-year period which took me here. And I'm now able to inspire more than thousands of youngsters. I have personally done programs for around 300 students, and I'm to be thankful with this session. I have been able to inspire 1,000. So this is how important a challenge is. The challenges have the ability to to provoke our potential and provoke the peak performer in us. And that's why we should visualize our problems as challenges. Challenges through which we are going to learn, challenges through which we are going to improve ourselves, and challenges through which we are going to pursue our dreams. And when you look every problem you have, of course, you might face so many problems in your life, and that's how life is. We cannot ignore it. And even though we don't go behind problems, there are problems which might come in our way. And when you take all those challenges, all problems as challenges with your perspective, with your approach for it, with the attitude that you follow, and that's where you're going to become a great problem solver. So, number 2, the power of mind. So let me quote Swami Sivananda. Thought is a vital living force, the most vital, subtle, and irresistible force that exists in the universe. Thoughts are living things. What you think is what you become. If you think that you want to be a successful person, if you create that mental picture in your mind that one day all your troubles, all your problems are going to end and you are going to become that dream person which is just deep inside you. And that can happen only if you build your mind to become a champion. You have to act like a winner, you have to walk like a winner, and you have to think like a winner if you want to become a winner. And this mind is a very powerful thing. And in his book, Robin Sharma, his book Mega Living, he states one factor. Each and every activity which happens in reality had already happened twice. One in your mind, and the second is in the reality. So your mind is like the blueprint, and you are the architect. The better blueprint you have, the better structures and mega structures you are going to make in the reality. When you improve the blueprint, you improve yourself as an architect, and that's where great results are going to emerge. And that is the most important thing you should always remember. So here I'm going to give you 4 simple practices which are well researched, followed by so many elite athletes, successful entrepreneurs, CEOs, businessmen, great leaders, great politicians. 4 simple practices which are sorted out, which can make you that to reach that vision of a powerful mind and become and ultimately become a great problem solver. So let's see. Number one, law of attraction. So this law of attraction state one fact, that is what you think about and believe is what you attract into your life. Think what you want to become. You have to always have a goal or dream first. So in my point of view, people confuse between goals and dreams and visions. You might have 100 goals, but you cannot have 100 dreams, and you cannot have 100 visions. Your goals are the big pillars which makes you be the person who have achieved the dream, and your dreams depend on the hundreds or thousands of goals that you make each day or each year. And then that dream depends on your vision, the final vision. Your final vision is the main factor which is going to determine which dream you are following, and for that which goals you are going to achieve. So always remember, when you think that you can be a champion, that when you think you can become a winner, you can be successful, and then you attract so many positivity within you. Then you attract positive people for you. Then you attract positive opportunities. There's so many opportunities. So this is what happened in my life. When I wanted to become a winner, when I wanted to become the person who inspires a lot, I was always thinking about it. I was always creating that mental picture within me, within myself, seeing like, okay, I'm going to win that, I'm going to win this. Just before every badminton match, even though how tough the opponent is, how difficult the match is, the previous day I always make my mental picture, seeing myself playing with the opponent and winning it. I always see create the mental picture in my mind. So just seeing that, okay, I can win this, I can win this championship. And when I firstly for the first time took part in an international MUN, which is in Bangkok, and that was my very first MUN. And when I was checking the fixed delegate list, Paramanathan Madushen High School, and when I see the rest of 143 delegates, they were from some kind of university, or they were from some kind of social platform, they were from some kind of, they were social activists, and I saw a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge in them, but which I lacked. But each and every day, I try, when I did my research, when I was preparing for it, I always made that mental picture that I'm going to win an award. Even I didn't have an idea what kind of awards we are going to get, and I didn't have a proper idea about an MU and even the procedures, because I was not very familiar with it, because and also that was my very first attempt. So, but I always created that mental picture myself in an international stage, winning an award, like so many people applauding me, like the lights and the light brilliant awards, medal on my neck. And I always made that mental picture in myself, and that even I was surprised when that became a reality. This is a very powerful method. I have implemented in my life, and that brought me really good results. And there are so many people who had done it, and they have achieved it. And if we say like, even Mahatma Gandhi, he had a vision for a freedom, independent India, and that and that situation was created first in his mind, and so many thousands of his followers, and that power actually made everything. So this law of attraction is one of the very basic and very important to create that powerful mind to solve problems in a better way. And let me ask you this question. What happened to our childhood dreams? What were your childhood dreams? Most of you might had this dream of becoming the president of your country, or the famous movie star which you love to watch in the TV, or it might be like to become like Michael Jackson, or it might be to become like Sachin Tendulkar. So what happened to those childhood dreams? And what kind of dreams do you have now? And when we ask so the people, the students who follow in college, what your dream is, they will just say, I just want to finish my degree and find a job and start earning and live a peaceful life. And that's not going to be the peaceful life. If you if you want to live a peaceful life, it's not being busy. It's peaceful life is not definitely not the life where you can just sit and wait. Peaceful life is when you have that mental satisfaction that you have done something for this society and done something to influence the people. And all your childhood dreams, what happened to them was they were influenced by the people in the society. They were influenced by the people who failed and stopped and limited themselves within a particular frame. And when you see them, when you talk to them, all those words, all those activities are just made in your mind impact, and you started thinking, okay, I'm gonna face this problem when I do this. I'm gonna face this problem when I'm doing this. And that's where your the mental capacity and your potential and your big dreams came into a very small frame. Please always pursue bigger dreams. I come from a very small family, a very average family, and my dreams are like thousands times bigger bigger in reality when compared to a person coming from a very average family. I have bigger dreams, and that bigger dreams are which motivate me to move forward. And that dreams make me to see every problem as a challenge and to solve them and somehow get through them. So always just have a brief flashback on what was your childhood dream is and what are you doing now, and that will make the change in you to dream big, and which is very important. So because when your dreams are big, and when you have that burning desire in you to achieve those dreams, and those dreams are going to help you solve a lot of problems in your life, to overcome a lot of challenges. And even though you fail to solve a problem, even though you fail by one of the solutions that you made, you are never going to regret, and you will learn a lot through that, and your future is going to be so bright. And always remember, today is the first day of your rest of your life, and if you decide today, the rest of your life is going to be great. So the second point, do regular self-evaluation. One of my principles is I am my biggest competition. I it's if when we take academics, it's not my other friends who come and stop me doing that extra 10 minutes of work, to wake up early in the morning to study, to stay late at night to study, to improve myself. It is the same lazy me who is trying to stop me to be that best person in academics. When we take sports, it is not my opponent who I will face in the future rounds or finals who is going to come and stop me to do that extra 10 push-ups. It's the same lazy guy in me who who always say, now that's enough for the day, now that's enough for the day, enough practices, enough push-ups, enough shots, go back home. So that's it's the same me who's going to influence me like that. So when I do regular self evaluation on how much I am doing, and how much did I do yesterday, how much did I do today, and how much should I do tomorrow, and that's going to be make me clear to improve myself very regularly. So when I engage in so many activities parallelly in school, problems are like very regular thing. Just like if I don't have a problem in my school in a day, that if I don't face a particular face a problem in a day, it's just like not having a hot coffee early in the morning. It's very boring, it's not refreshing, and it becomes a very dull day. So I made myself to confidently face problems through regular self-evaluation, because I always, when I did that regular self-evaluation, I always had that confidence. Okay, I am the better person. I am the better person of my yesterday's version. I will be the better version of today, tomorrow. So when I have that confidence, I could easily solve my all the problems and the challenges which I had in my life. So regular self-evaluation is very, very important. And especially make sure that you write your dreams, your goals, or even your regular you do self-evaluation, just like making the thinking them. Make sure that you write, and when you write, it matters a lot. It can make a bigger difference. So second point, make sure that you do regular self-evaluation. And third one, be prepared. It's the motto of Scouts. The Scouts might know, be prepared is our motto. So I had this experience when I was just appointed as a senior scout in our troop, and there were other troop leader and secretary who were leading us, and we were on a hike, a 16-kilometer hike in a jungle, taking 40 young scouts, which was around 5 or 6 years back. So since I was just promoted as a senior, I was in charge of all 40. I have to keep them in line. I have to keep them silent. I have to look after them while our seniors are leading and coming behind, keeping everything under control. So there was this fat boy who was just 13 years old. He's very fat, and he felt very tired to even to walk the previous stages. And he fell, and he twisted his ankle, and he just started crying. And I didn't know what to do. So I went to my senior and I told him, Aya means brother. Aya, a boy fell and he injured himself. He directly asked me, is he dead? I was very surprised. I said, no, he is not dead. So he's not dead, but he's injured. Then he asked, is the injury fatal? I said, no, he just twisted his ankle. And then he told me, okay, then you take care of him, do whatever you want, but I want to see that boy's face in the peak. And the peak was around 6 kilometers away, and it was a very gentle uphill. And he took the rest of the team. So then while walking back to the boy, I just realized I just knew everything I should do. What kind of first aid I should give, what kind of self-assistance that I should give, how should I carry him to the peak, how should I assist him to the peak, and what kind of mental advices I should give. And at that moment, I realized I have been trained and prepared for it. In his book, I previously mentioned Robin Sharma's Mega Living, he very considerably amount of time he mentions that train your mind like a muscle. When you train your muscle over and over, give it more work, more exercises, and more pressure, and stronger the muscle become. And when the muscles become stronger, your whole physical body becomes stronger. Same with your mind. When you incorporate your mind with training, when you do the regular practices, your mind is going to become muscle, just act like a muscle, and it's going to help you throughout your life. And in that scouting incident, I was trained to tackle such situations. I was trained to give first aid. I was trained to carry people. I was trained to give mental advices for a young kid. But I just didn't knew that I am being prepared for it. And that's when that senior told such, it was nothing offensive. But he just tried to realize me, hey man, you are trained for this, you can do this, don't tell me. Solve the problem you itself. So by yourself. So that's the most important thing. Be prepared. Be prepared to face challenges. Be prepared to see that problem coming in your way. When you see that there are some people, they just come to us when they have a problem. And when you see him coming, either putting a fake smile in his face, you should know, okay, this guy is coming with a problem and I'm prepared to give him answers. So when you are prepared, you are less surprised, and you have more focus on the solutions of the problem for those problems. And when you are prepared, less reactive you become. Because whenever we face a problem, some people just burst out with anger, and they have some such qualities. So when you are just prepared, and that brings you down to earth, like you are ready to face it, and it's not a big deal at all. But always keep in mind, being prepared doesn't mean that you are always negative. Just because you are prepared for a particular problem, it doesn't mean that you are looking for the problem. But when the problem comes, you become the best person to deal it. Even for this webinar, I was I have been preparing a lot of for a lot of things. What if the power here goes off? What if my connection didn't work well? What if my video didn't work well? I am just prepared for everything. But that doesn't mean I'm expecting for the power to go off. I'm not expecting the video shouldn't work. I'm not expecting the slides or the content I'm right now sharing you is going to stop working. I'm not expecting, but I'm prepared. So being prepared is very, very important. Fourth, simple one, apply keys. Keys means keep it super simple. So as I told before, whenever people come across problems, they burst out, they start panicking. Even though they have the solution for those problems in their hand, that panic, that worry just hides it off. So always remember, keeping things super simple is very, very important. Whenever a problem comes to you, whenever a challenge comes to you, be that calm person, and be that simple person who can solve any problem easily. Even though you know that it's going to be the solution for the problem is out of your extension or out of your box, just keep it super simple. And keeping things very simple is going to be very, very effective when you solve problems. So let me recall the main factors which I told, the practices that you should do. Number one, the law of attraction. And number two, regular self-evaluation. Number three, be prepared. And number four, apply case. And the process is always hard. Whenever you start doing something in a very something, it's always hard to keep going. As an example, when you go to the gym the first time, you just go with a full of enthusiasm and full of hope, and you do the first day training, you have the pain, and then the second day you somehow go and you again have the pain, and when days go by one, and then you feel fatigue, and then you just leave up going to the gym. And if you do that same for those practices, it's your life is not never going to change. So it doesn't mean that you have to follow everything I told. Even there is a slightest factor which can make your life better. Adapt to that, follow that, and it will take time. The researchers say that if you want to make a practice a habit, you should do it for 21 days continuously. So if you do a practice for 21 days, it's going to become a habit, and habit will become an attitude, and attitude becomes a character, and character builds the real successful person that you want to be in your life. So always remember this, and this one any of these steps can really help you to find that self mastery within you, which is very, very important and the basic for problem solving. Now, let me quote you this. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it's faced. It doesn't mean that you should always face whatever the problems that comes around you, or take up any challenge that comes around you. The most important factor is that that problem must be helpful to reach your vision. That the particular problem you choose to solve must have a purpose. As an example, there are firefighters and there are fire rescuers. If your job is to firefight, you should focus on neutralizing the fire. If your job is to become a rescuer, you should focus on the people who are just trapped and just rescue them. If you misunderstand these two particular roles, If a fire rescuer tries to become a firefighter, he's losing focus on his main job. And when the firefighter is doing the fire rescuer job, then he is losing his focus on settling down the fire. So it's same with life. Do what fits the purpose. Do what is required for your vision. Even if we take this pandemic as an example, if your vision is to minimize domestic violence in the world, you really don't have to solve this problem of COVID-19 to help them find a vaccine to make things better, because there are people to do that job. But of course, you can help. But if your focus is on domestic violence, then you should focus on the people who are being domestically abused or harassed during this lockdown season in their houses. That's where your focus should be on. So make sure that you in your life you fit the purpose when you solve the problems, because not everything that is faced can be changed. But make sure that always remember nothing can be changed until it is faced. So that is the brief of my problem of my session. Always remember, you naturally have that ability of problem solving in you, and nobody can give better solutions or better ways to do your challenges, better way to solve your problems than yourself, because it is you who are going through that particular circumstance. It's you who is going through that incident, and it is you who's going to face the future in a future of the future your future, and depending on those problems and the challenges you face. So it's everything depends on you. So always remember that you decide what you should become, and then make sure that you have no regrets of not doing anything just because you fear of the problems which might come across. So thank you very much. And if you have any questions related to problem solving or the different types of problem solving uh, incidents which you face difficult to solve the particular problems, now you can ask me. I'll try my best with my experience and the knowledge I have to answer your questions. Thank you.
First of all, thank you so much, Madushen. With your session, I don't feel you are 19 years old. Is it truly you're 19 years old?
Yes, I am 19 years old.
Yeah. So, I mean, you are speaking like the knowledge of a 40-year-old person.
Let me comment on my age. So I am a person who always believes that age doesn't matter at all. If you want to become the champion, it doesn't mean that you are 30, 30 or 93. It doesn't matter at all. And in our society, people have that mindset. If somebody doesn't have gray hair and a very bald face and they don't look like an educated person, they are not going to listen to them. So if you can become that young inspiration even for the elders somewhat, because everybody have a story for themselves and there's something to learn from everybody, and I just do that. And it might be my little brother or it might be my parents. I learn every day from them, even the slightest things. And people just forget to enjoy the little things that happen in our lives. So even when you go through the bus, like you just stick into your phone, looking at taking your social media, whatever. Just do this practice while traveling in the bus. Don't use the phone. Just sit back and think and wonder. Just even when I start to wonder, I might start up with a mathematics question and end up being a poet. So I just imagine things and things and things, and it is what makes me to look at little things and learn a lot. So always remember, age is not a matter at all. Even you might be 19 or you might be 93. If you decide to become a successful person, you can be that person.
Right. Oh,
Well,
great.
thank you.
So we are ready, sir?
Yes. We have some questions in chat box. So we'll take one by one. So first question I asked in the chat box. Why few people they listen surrounding negativity news and they scared and connect their whole life with that problem?
Sorry, sir, can I have the question again?
Why few people they listen surrounding negative news and they scared and connect their whole life with that problem.
So, like, I did get the question. Is he asking about?
I'll put it.
It says if somebody around is too much occupied with the negative news, how do they come out of it?
Okay, first factor, when negative, like some time back I was faced with a very negative aspect in my life, and which I didn't expect to happen, and which none of my family members, my friends, people who were looking at me, they never expected that to happen in my life. So how I came across that is, I have a very powerful dream, and each time negativity just shouts around me, and each time I am broke, and each time I just break out, that strong dream within myself always motivates me, and it gives me the hand to come out of the negative aspect. So when some people think, when, like, negative things come around, or whenever they have to come through it, like they just feel like, oh, okay, when I just cry myself for the best out, I'm gonna release from myself. When I just worry myself, stay in the room, not eat anything, it's going to be okay. No, it's not going to be okay. Whenever something negative happens to your life, sit back, take a piece of paper, write what happened to your life. What happened? We'll say, okay, you failed an exam, right? Okay, I failed this exam. Put a circle, and across that circle, write each and every factor through which you can overcome that. Whether you are going to repeat the exam, right? Okay, I'm going to repeat it. So what are the subjects I'm going to make? What are the different perspectives or different ideas which I'm going to follow? What am I going to do when I'm going to start studying? And when you write everything this around, you feel, okay, this is a small problem with a lot of answers, lot of solutions. So that really works. And always, when you are filled with negativity, when negative people are surrounded by you, only you can accept that negativity to enter into your mind. If you continuously stay focused, if you continuously want that burning desire within you to achieve your dream, will definitely help you to come out of that negativity. And always, whatever happens in your life, how much you are broke, how many times, it doesn't matter how many times you fail, always get up with a smile. Always smile, get up. Don't consider whatever the people talk about you. They might comment on your failures, they might comment on your success, but it doesn't matter at all. It's you who decide what you want to be. Always have that smile, and that smile and those big dreams that you dream of can make you definitely to come out of whatever the negativity you are surrounded with.
Okay, Madhusan, there's another question which says when we watch such motivational videos or hear to motivational people, we do feel motivated, but for a shorter span of time. Later on, we go back to the same routine, same life. So, how do we change that and how do we stay in the direction?
Okay, so whenever people listen to motivational speeches and motivational talks, they just try to absorb everything that they say. If we give 10 practices, they will try to do all 10, and they are not going to focus correctly on a single bit. Whenever you listen to a motivational speech, just get one small point. If he says wake up early in the morning as fact, just wake up early for some time, and just keep yourself doing that for a continuous time. And when you wake up early, do your favorite work which you want to do in that extra time that you have. So when you focus on small things in your life, and that's going to make greater differences in you. So as I told before, when I challenge myself to learn, I should learn to speak in English. So that was my around that I just built my goals. I tried to go write speeches, I tried to write drama, And I staged my own drama when I was 12 years old with my own script, own characters, own casting, and own direction. And then I started doing everything in order to improve my English. And just because I improve my English and just because I improve my communication skills, I have come a long way from the rest of the people who were just studying or just doing the daily work. So always focus on one small thing that you want to achieve in life, and that one small thing is going to take you for greater heights. Yes.
Okay, thank you. We have next question. What activities students should do to supercharge their problem solving skills?
Okay, what activities?
Yes.
Number one, as I told before, regular self evaluation is something very important, because whenever I feel I have failed solving a problem, I just analyze myself. Where did I miss out that thing? And what factor did I miss to see in that? And of course, I do a particular counseling sessions with my friends, and I tell them this is what I felt, and this is why I couldn't solve. And when you have some good friends who can actually think, you are going to you are going to just reboost your mind. Even before this webinar, I just wrote my content and shared it with my couple of friends. And how much you think, like, okay, this is better, some of your friends might have better answers for that. So if every student, it might be an academic question, it might be a problem that you face in society, it might be a problem which you face at your home, or any problem, it might be a financial situation or your character situation. So always think who you were yesterday and what you are today. If you are the same person you were yesterday, and and then you are not moving forward, or you are not staying the same place, but rather you are moving backwards. Because when you just stay without improving yourself, there are thousands of others who keep improving themselves, and they keep moving forward. So always remember, self 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 note that self revolution is like very important factor. Just and that evaluation can give you that skill which you missed to look into yourself. So do that practice. And also you can, the problem solve, you can write your problem and just around it, write whatever the solutions that you can give it to it. Just think and do it, and that will eventually make you a great problem solver. And it doesn't come in a day. Like it doesn't happen overnight. For me to improve my English, it required 7 years of dedicated, focused training. And without that focus, without that belief that you can do, and without that continuous training, you cannot become great on any aspect. So do that training continuously, and that's the most important thing. If you do it, you will see small improvements, which is going to take you to greater heights.
Great. Madushen, you're also, I've seen in your profile that you are very good in badminton, and you have won a couple of awards in it. So how you manage your sports interest and your studies?
Okay, when you come to management, the best thing is giving priority for the most important things. So when you don't give priority for your things, and others' priorities will come under your list. So always make sure, and there have been so many times where I had a national final in badminton. At the same time, I had a scout camp when I was a troop leader. There was a scout camp which I should be the leader. And at the same time, where there was a leadership training program which I had to be a part of. So every moment I have to decide, okay, where should I be? Can I make a replacement for me there? And which particular group needs my highest assistance? Is it my badminton team, or is it my scout troop, or is it my leader, or is it my prefect who need the most assistance? And that's how I have to manage it. And I remember in one of the prize givings, when I was the troop leader, I have to command on the guard of honor to welcome the chief guest. That was the very first event. And also I was the chief compeer for the college. So where I have to do the main announcing part 2 in the prize giving. And in the prize giving, announcing is very, very important. You miss a word, you are going to ruin the whole prize giving. So what I did was, I must be there in the guard of honor too, and I must be there in the podium too. What I did was, I did the guard of honor. When the chief guest passed by us, he will be accompanied by the band. I took that time, I ran to the main auditorium. I just removed my uniform and took a couple of pens to assist me. I just within like 2-3 minutes, I changed my uniform, I changed the blazer, I changed the tie, and I directly I went to the podium even before the chief guest came into the auditorium. So there were moments like that which you need to decide which for which you should give the priority. And even the chief guest, when he came up to the stage, he was really surprised to see me. And later he spoke to me, he was actually confused me to see there and here. So like it's really interesting to balance out everything, and always remember, give priority for which you should give priority for it, and make that decision wisely. Because whenever you do things, you you're going to sacrifice something and do for the other thing. Make sure that sacrifice is worth what you're going to do. So otherwise you're definitely going to regret for not doing something. So always remember, your priorities matter a lot, and when you do sacrifices, and that sacrifices should be worth the work you are going to do. So that's how it works.
Thanks.
Okay, Madushen. How do you handle situations or problems where you fail to find solutions? So you are unable to find solution in something, and then how do you cope up with that?
Okay. Whenever we don't have a solution for a particular problem, the best thing is just focused on what's happening on the problem and do nothing. Just wait. When you do that, some problem, when we say like some problems will like solved by time. When you give some time, that particular problem gives a lot of room of solutions. So whenever you feel something you cannot solve that particular problem at once, just leave it aside. And if it is a very, very critical problem that you must find a solution at that moment, consult your best friend or your parents. So most of the time, your best friend and your parents have the best possible answers which you couldn't find. So follow whatever they do, follow what they say, just analyze it, just see whether their solutions can be an advantage for you. If so, adapt that solution. And even though that solution is not perfect, it can be better than doing nothing. So always remember that whenever you don't have a solution for a particular problem, either you can keep it aside and let abide with time, you can further think about it and find a solution. And if it is a very critical one that you should decide as soon as possible, consult someone, consult the person on whom you mostly trust on to solve problems. It might be your parents, it might be your best friends, or it might be even your little brother. So when you just tell them, like they might have any interesting perspective of it, and that might help you to solve that problem.
Okay, thank you. What do you suggest to a delegate in an MUN who is a first timer?
Okay, right. Very good question. Okay, when I was sitting, like okay, in the Bangkok MUN, number one, it was an international MUN. There was a lot of preparation, and there was a lot of things I didn't know. And the most important thing is you have to participate. If you think, okay, this is my first MUN, I will just see what's happening and go home, you are not going to learn a single thing from it. And just feel free to engage in yourself. The very first time in Bangkok, Asia World Model United Nations, there were 144 delegates. I just kept raising my placard, and I was not recognized for some particular time. And even I just raised a point of information. Like I just asked the chair, why are you not recognizing me? And he told me, we are considering that there should be representatives from each continent, and then we can have this. So like almost for a 1.5 hour, I didn't have a chance to speak. But there was this burning desire. Okay, man, you came to do something, do something. So I just kept raising my placard for everything. It might be your whatever the thing. So at then I just got one opportunity to speak, which is just for 1.5 minutes. And that 1.5 minutes changed the rest of the proceedings. And out of 144 delegates, in my block, which I led, there were 90 delegates to support the working paper. So the most important thing is, if you are a first timer, make sure that you participate. That is the most important thing. If you think, okay, I'm going to sit back, look, and maybe try next time, that's not going to happen. Even though you fail, like, even though you get red flag in the committee, even though, like, other delegates laugh at you the way you speak, it's okay. Because if you get red flag, you are not going to do the same mistake the next time. But if you don't try, you will make the same mistake the next time. And also then you will have to wait for the third chance to perform. But sometimes in life, there you can have the first chance, and you can have the second chance. But third chances, don't expect that you always have a third chance to do anything. So first try is the best try. Do it.
Thank you, Madushen. One last question I'm taking. You want to pursue engineering, right? Next, which engineering stream you want to pursue?
Okay.
And why?
Okay, so I'll tell you one thing. I don't follow engineering just because I want to become an engineer. I follow engineering because my future dream is to something great. Okay, I'll tell my future dream too. I have two dreams. Number one, this is the first time I'm telling anybody about my dreams.
Okay.
So I think it would inspire you.
Yeah.
First one, I want to start my own science research and innovation company, which basically focus on future space travel and in a sustainable innovation, which can really help the world. And number two, I want to raise dreams. So from the younger stage, I have been a dreamer. So those dreams brought me here. And I had this wonderful experience in my class with my own classmate. I was just sitting around after I participated in Aumun in Bangkok. So the person next to me, he is one of my classmates. He is the global first who became global first in Google coding. So nobody achieved that. He did around 90 tasks, and the second who won second place, he just did 30 tasks. So he is a major asset for the world. And in front of me, my friend who is a geoscience Olympiad gold medalist. So it is like, you have very rare gold medals, and he's one of them. And my guy right next on my right, he won the second place in the international innovation competition in USA. So when I see this, okay, in this small group, there are a lot of achievers and there are a lot of dreamers. So we were privileged to study in my college. My college is St. Anthony's College. So it has been the place which raised dreamers like me. So in that place, so we were lucky enough to be in that place, and we raised their dreams. But there are thousands of youngsters who are rather confused, or who are not guided properly, just like sailing like a ship without a compass in a ruthless sea. So they need some kind of guidance. They need some kind of motivation to reach that bigger dreams. And the bigger dreams are what makes this world beautiful and better to live. So if you can be the person who can raise dreams, you are gonna be the person who can bring the change. So these are my two dreams which I want to follow. So it doesn't matter. Even though I don't follow engineering, if I think, okay, rather than engineering, business management is going to help with my company, I will choose business management. But now I think, okay, you can learn business management even after doing an engineering degree. So I just give the priority for my engineering degree, gain that knowledge, gain that exposure, and then move out with my dreams. So I work for my dreams, not for the degree.
Thank you. So
Thank you, Madushen. It was amazing having you here. You did not sound like 19 even once. It was a very thoughtful session for everyone out here. And thank you for the MUN thing. You and I shared it for the first time at Bangkok. It all gave me a flashback now. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing such a wonderful, thoughtful messages. Thank you, Armiet family, for arranging such webinars. tomorrow we have Kishan Baksani, who was the Secretary General of the MUN at Bali, which was third one. So he would be talking about cognitive flexibility 101. Stay tuned. We would be meeting tomorrow again at 5 p.m. here at Armiet YouTube channel. And you can follow Madushen, you can follow Armiet on the following links that are given below. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you.